Okay. Hello again. Um, so yesterday I spent an hour and a half. Well, I didn't want it to be that long. I wanted it to be less than 45 minutes. Um, recording another video about Ohio. And this one was about these kind of cultural regions. Um, here's a here's a little scene from the video where I'm talking about, Appalachia. But unfortunately, I might still upload it, just cut it off. Because about an hour of it, the recording works, but then for the last half hour, it basically is just frozen on one frame. I guess it's because, like, what is my tarantula doing? Whatever. Um, I guess it was because, like, I ran out of space on the iPad or something. I don't know. iPad. It's so embarrassing to use an iPad. But, anyways, so I don't want to remake that because, well, I might remake it, I might not. But okay, at least not right now. And so instead, right now, I'm going to talk about Portage County today specifically. Let me switch to red, my favorite color. Okay, so wait a minute. It actually might be helpful if we do. There we go. Okay, so Portage County. Let me draw a little Ohio map. I'll shrink this down because that's too big. Um, Portage County is the county I've lived in 100% of my life. I go to college here. It's one of the greatest counties of Ohio, in my opinion. Unfortunately, I think it's also the 11th most populous or something, which is just terribly embarrassing because I don't want to, But irregardless, uh, it's still an amazing place, and I'm going to talk about it today. So there's our reference. 1 minute. Kind of always make the western side too wide, and this time I made Ashtabula region too tall. But what are you going to do? Okay, put this in the corner. This is just our reference image. Uh, all right. So, Portage County. Firstly, okay, so basically, there's some places in which the counties, will be shaped like whatever. Like here's counties in Kentucky or something. And these will all be like rivers. Well, in Portage County, I mean in Ohio, I searched through all the county borders to see if there's any cases of a truly organic boundary line, and the only one is about right here. This is between Ashland and Richland counties. Um, Ashland County City is like Ashland, but Richland County City is Mansfield. And Mansfield has a penitentiary. They filmed that movie there, Shawshank Redemption, right? I'm not a movie guy, but I've never been there. But anyways, their border is like on a river. I forgot what river. Um, but all the other counties in Ohio, they are just straight lines. And only two of them are perfect rectangles. One being Portage County, right there. The other one being Trumbull County, which is like that. They're right next to each other. Trumbull County City is Warren. Okay, so let's draw Portage County. One. Wait, I don't even have to. Why do I have to count out loud? I'm not like a child. I can count in my head, even while talking. There we go. Anything important on my phone? Nope. Uh, okay. Um, there we go. There's Portage County. Oh, and look at this. This is fancy. Okay. So now let's draw the township boundaries. And by the way, um, normally I'm in a period where I'll just like draw Portage County constantly, but I'm not right now. So stuff like when we get to the Highways, I might be a little rusty. I apologize for that. Because sometimes it's hard to remember. Even though I love it, it can be hard to remember every. Can't be expected to know every little detail. That's an inside joke. If my sister watches this, she'll know, but she probably won't watch it. All right, here we are, Portage County. Portage County. Right. Um, as you can see, I've faithfully replicated it, recreated it there. Okay, now, first I'll put the townships. Well, okay. So I would say so each of these squares, by the way, is 5 by 5 miles. So I would say, that there's 20 townships, but there's actually only 18 townships. And the reason being, sorry, but I'm gonna sit up more. My back hurts. Okay. That should be fine. The reason being that Aurora, worst place in Portage County, and Streetsboro, second worst place in Portage County. Their city limits, their municipality, take up their whole square, their whole allotted square, whereas the other census designated incorporated or unincorporated territories, they don't do that, and they have their township around them. So first, let's just do it simply. So we've got Aurora, Manaway. Manaway is spelled like this. Looks a little bit like Mantua. It's Manaway. I don't know why we say it that way. Manaway, Hiram. That's where I go to college. This is Nelson. I got, this Nelson, about like this is the farthest like southern extents of the Geauga Amish community in Nelson. We got Streetsboro. Like I said, second worst place. I'll talk about each of these places. Hopefully I can make it less than an hour and a half this time. Because last time, basically, I had some exposition, and then by the time I was done talking about just Appalachian, Ohio, it had already been 45 minutes, and I already had these other things to talk about. So like, the, by the way, why did I? This was so stupid. I realized partway through I wrote Great Belt instead of Great Lakes, but it's like so the other ones I kind of had to go shorter on, and even so, it ended up being an hour and a half. I go on tangents and whatnot. Oh, and ambiguous. I was like, I don't even know what to call Cincinnati because geographically, geologically, whatever, climatologically, this region is called like the bluegrass region because apparently bluegrass is actually a type of grass that's in Kentucky. Like it's a real physical thing. In Cincinnati, of course, it's right next to Kentucky. But anyways, Streetsboro. This is Shalersville. Freedom. This is a great name. Wyndham, worst school district in the county. Kent. Oh my gosh. I just outed myself as a fake Portage County fan. Franklin. Wow. Ravenna. Charleston, but it's spelled like Charlestown, right? Am I a fake Portage County fan? Yeah, it's spelled like Charlestown with Charleston. Then we got Paris. Okay. Then this, Brimfield. Rootstown. It was kind of a bad R. Let's draw it a little bit better. Not that, whatever. Rootstown. Edinburgh. Palmyra. Nicer. Palmyra. Suffield. Randolph. Look at that. 3 R's in a row. Then this is sorry. This is Atwater, and this is Deerfield. Okay. Yeah, so I haven't thought enough about the orientation of these letters. I should really think of acronyms for like this. Like those should all have an acronym, kind of like like the ledger line acronyms. Remember, I think that would be cool. I can even do like some I should okay. Next project, come up with a cool acronym for each of these. That's kind of a obscure project, but anyways. So there's that. Now, okay, in Portage County we have four towns slash cities. They're all called cities, but some people have told me that they're towns because they think a city has to be like 60,000 population or more. Guess what? Guess what, liberals? Currently in the United States, a city, to become a city, you have to have a population of 15,000 people. So any new settlement that gets to 15,000 people, that can be a city. It used to be 5,000, and anything that originally was called a city that isn't to 15,000 yet was kind of grandfathered in and is still called a city. Ravenna has about 11,000 people. That is less than 15,000, but it's more than 5,000. More than 5,000. And so we're still called the city of Ravenna. If you look at our water tower, it says the city of Ravenna. And no, like, it's like you. Here's the thing. Ravenna to me feels kind of like it feels like a city. It doesn't feel like a town. It doesn't feel like, oh, I just live in a little town. It feels like I live in a city. Like if you live in a little town, that's going to be in these areas. We'll talk about those later. These townships, these ones have the villages and these ones have the towns. And then there's unincorporated communities and like squares and like these ones that I'll get to. But so we have, yeah, our four cities are here and our four villages are here. Um, okay, so let's put those on the map. So as I said, Aurora and Streetsboro, their municipality takes up their whole box. So I don't have to change anything about that. Franklin Township. I'm so sorry that I put this as Kent Township. I'm so stupid. Kent is the city of Franklin Township. And it's like lower down like that. Kent. Normally I write this in print so it can be like that. Okay, we'll do that. Also, there used to be, I believe this was a census designated unincorporated uh, community right here. This is called Brady Lake. I'll put it in B. And up here is actually the worst place in Portage County. I'll just put an S next to because it's got that, whatever. It doesn't matter. That is Sugar Bush Knolls. I'm not even going to touch that much on it because I actually will. I hate Sugar Bush Knolls. Anyways, so we got that. And by the way, Sugar Bush Knolls makes this like imperfect. Like it makes it not a perfect square. I hate Sugar Bush Knolls. All right. And you can even tell by the name. Like that is a terrible type of place. Okay. Ravenna. Okay. So Ravenna is like in the middle. I don't know how to like make. All right. Ravenna Township, Ravenna city limits. Next, we got the villages. All right. So Manaway is about in the middle. Nice. That's beautiful. Hiram is about in the middle. Okay. Now, here again, like Franklin Township is called something different. So we've got Garrettsville. Garrettsville in Nelson Township. And then we've got Wyndham. And Wyndham, listen, I actually don't know as much about it as I should, but I have a really cool fact about it that I'll get to eventually. Wyndham. All right. Now, also, okay, so there's like, this is like quote unquote downtown Manaway, but then also above it, we have like, I should be using different colors for this, shouldn't I? Okay, from now on, I'll use different colors for different things. Let's do orange. Okay, there's like there's like center. So that's like Manaway Center, right? Here we have like Nelson Circle. They got like a roundabout. We got like a center in Shalersville. Freedom is like, I guess it has a center. It's kind of like that. Wyndham, I'm gonna be honest, I've barely even been there. I, I can't think of what they got going on there. Um, there's not really a center in these ones. Rootstown does have Rootstown Center. Um, Brimfield and Suffield do. Are they in the middle? Well, Suffield, Brimfield does. Brimfield like kind of sucks. I think like the Brimfield, it's like near Kent, isn't it? Right? If you okay, I'm sorry if I get some of this wrong. I promise I love Portage County. Just I haven't been on the Portage County game lately. Okay, Randolph doesn't have a center. It does have the county fair. Wait, no, it does. It has all those car dealerships close to here. Oh my goodness. The car dealerships, right. Atwater, I don't think that place has a center, and the only relevance on my life is that is where my okay, the maternal side of my family, the way the family reunion schedule used to work, we would have in the middle of summer go to Atwater, okay? In Halloween, go to Atwater. In what is that holiday? I always mix up Labor Day and Veterans Day. Whatever. And that day, go here to French Creek in Upshur County, West Virginia. Because we have like this schoolhouse property there. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool place. Um, so that's the only relevance Atwater has in my life. And my grandpa, like when his family moved from West Virginia, they moved to Atwater. Um, but I've not been hanging out there except for those family reunions. And then Deerfield does have like a circle. Okay, nice. Um, I'm just gonna add to the map, and then I will talk about each of these in more detail. Let's see what we're doing on time so far. Okay, only like 15 minutes so far. That's not terrible. Okay. Let's do the other. Oh, okay. Let's add the like federally owned land. Well, there's only one section of quote unquote federally owned land, but then there's a huge state park that takes up a lot of room. So basically, how does this shaped? It's shaped like it's kind of like this, right? And this is called the right? Isn't this called the James A. Garfield training whatever? This is a military base. This is an old this we call it the Ravenna Arsenal or just the Arsenal. But I think it's technically now called like the James A. Garfield something because James A. Garfield, there used to be a canal that ran through here. This was the Pennsylvania and Ohio Canal, right? Because the Erie in Ohio went like that. This was right. You guys probably don't know if I don't know. And James A. Garfield, he worked as like a canal boy here in Charleston. And if you drive the road here, there's like a little pull off thing with a plaque, and it's like James A. Garfield, president before he was president, did that. And then James A. Garfield, then he went to Hiram College where I go, and then he was president of Hiram College. Then he was president of the country. Um, look what a progression. What a Portage County progression. He actually wasn't even born in Charleston. I forget where he was born, but from here up to here, up to presidency, he ascended. Charleston is like, you're not very ascended if you're there. Okay, so there's that Jag. It kind of looks like I wrote gay, right? Am I imagining that? Whatever. Then we've got, how is this shaped? It's like this. This is, we'll just write it like West Branch, WB, Walter Becker, West Branch. West Branch is, to my knowledge, one of the largest state parks in Ohio. The actual largest, I don't even remember what it's called because I'm a fake Ohio fan. It's like over here, and it's some lake over there. And some other big lakes, we got like Mosquito Lake right there. And this, or is it higher up? It might be more like here. Mosquito Lake. That's next to like this town called Cortland. And I think what my mom told me was that they have like reenactment ship battles on Mosquito Lake. Well, and of course our biggest lake. Oh, there, Lake Erie. Anyways, so there's that, and then we've got in Nelson we got Nelson Ledges, which is a state park. I think it's like right about there. We've also got see, this is where I start to blank because there's Eagle Creek, and Eagle Creek is also in Nelson, is it not? Because I'm trying to think of the road where you see the sign for that. I think that it is. I don't know, but we'll just put it there for now. Yeah, because the Hiram College Field Station is like this, and we have like an Eagle Creek campus, I think. So that would make sense. What are the other state parks that we have? Um, Maybe the military base being green is like, it's like too wholesome. I'll make it like, there we go, because it is different than a state park. Jag. All right. Jag is the name of the Hiram College mascot. He's a ugly terrier. His head is shaped like. Wait, how do terriers look? They have like a stupid. There's nothing around me with Hiram College branding on it. Don't they have like a stupid shaped head like this? Am I stupid? Like it's like. Wait, they look stupid, don't they? I can't even remember what he looks like. I know he's a stupid dog. Whatever, I'll put a picture up. Jag, James A. Garfield. I always thought that was a cool. Okay, I've been thinking about this word a lot. I have this issue where I'm constantly afraid I will forget the definition of a word and look stupid. But isn't phoneme like this is like a term to describe a specific syllable, right? Okay, let's assume it is. I've always liked that phoneme, jag. I think that's cool. Uh, and then it's like in Turn That Heartbeat Over Again by Steely Dan, it's like, I'm not gonna sing, but it's like, cry a jag on me. I don't even know what they mean in that song. My dad really likes that song because it goes like, oh Michael, oh Jesus, and he thinks that's really funny. All right. Any other things here that I should put? Okay, Eagle Creek, because I don't know if you're here, we're just gonna get rid of you. And this is my Portage County map. So if you're so irrelevant that I don't even know your location, leave, right? Okay. Nelson Ledges is important. That's a state park that's very important. That's the second most important. These are the two most important state parks in Portage County. The most important location to me that is not a state park. Well, this is just the most important location to me that's not like my home in Portage County. And it's right here. It is called Towner's Woods. Yeah. It's not a state park. It's like a county park. It's perfect. Okay. Now let's go to the roads, and then that should be it. And I can start talking about things more deep. What time are we at? 25 minutes? Okay. Doing decent on time. Okay. So the roads. We got interstates and we got county highways that I'll put. So the interstate. Here. Also, this is all just kind of going to go over top of everything, but it doesn't matter. This, we'll just write on the side here. This is ugly, wait. I hate that's how I is, and you know what? I can write lowercase. I-80. Okay. I'm a fake fan. I keep outing myself as a fake fan. Oh my goodness. I-76. That's the interstate I've spent the most time on. This. What is wrong with me? 80. All right. Now here's where, listen, I could look at Google Maps right now to figure this out, but that would be facetious, right? Um, uh, this is just what I know. And I know, isn't it Interstate 305 that goes like this? I think it is. And so we're going to put that. And if it's not, sue me. Portage County can sue me for defamation. Okay, interstates. So I live, between two pretty major east-west interstates. I-80 being a very important one. Because the way the interstate system works, it's okay. We're gonna see if I can recreate my luck before drawing a beautiful America in just one line. Okay, it's already not looking as good. Oh, this is not going. You know what? This isn't terrible. Okay, Maine is not supposed to be higher than. Sorry, I'm concentrating. Maine is not supposed to be higher than Minnesota. That little thing, Minnesota, that's like called like Lake of the Woods or something, right? The boundary wall, whatever. It's not supposed to be higher. That's the northernmost point of the contiguous United States. But okay, this is not terrible. Other than that height, elevate, out latitude discrepancy, this is not that terrible. Okay, this is how the interstates work. If you don't know, it goes like this: 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, whatever. That's not exactly how it works because basically this area is like a it's like a bottleneck point for the interstates because they can't do that. I mean, Canada is here and then huge inland seas are here. They can't do that. Um so like 90, I'm pretty sure it goes like this. 80 also goes like this, I'm pretty sure. And then like 7, that's how it is. So it goes that way and then it's like this. 5, 15, 25, 35, 45. And then those are the most major ones. The multiples of 5. And then in between that they add more. And then if you have like a weird, like how I'm thinking with this 305 thing, like after 100 they were like, we're just gonna add them wherever they're needed. Um, and I live in a very of wait, here's an easier way to do this. I live in a very interstate heavy state. I mean, we're a very populous state, an important state to drive through, so it makes sense. West Virginia, not the same way. Wonder why? No, it's very obvious why. Way less people, way more varied terrain, whatever. Um, okay, now some of the state highways. Should I make this in a different color? No. No, it's all right. I think it's all right. Here's what I can do. I can make them in that. Okay. This is what? That's going to be annoying. 43. This is 44. I'm getting like anxiety that I'm gonna get this stuff wrong. Hey Rudy, my chud dog just came in. Come on up, Rudy. Come on. Just be quiet. Okay. We got the tarantula and the dog in one room. Hopefully the cat will come. Okay. Anyways, for some reason I'm getting sleepy. But it's okay. I will continue on my mission. What time are we at here? Half an hour. If this doesn't record, I will kill myself. I'm kidding. I won't. It's just, that was really annoying how like half an hour worth of stuff just didn't record. Okay. Then we've got, and by the way, these have like some turns in them and stuff, but I don't care about being exact. 59, that's my main street. And then Well, here's okay. My understanding of it is, again, this is embarrassing. I should know. This, oh, yeah, this is why we got to do that. So it is 59 when you're here, but it like becomes 5. Does it end here? It goes all the way to Akron and beyond, I think, but it like becomes 5. Route 5. Okay. Next is State Route 14. That's a big one. And then we got 303. How does 303 go? So 303, doesn't it go like this? Because if you were driving, I only really know this drive well because this is how you get to the ski resorts in Cuyahoga Valley. If you are driving this way back to Ravenna on, oh, you know what? It turns into 303, doesn't it? I'm so sorry that I should know about this. Okay. What is this is embarrassing. We'll just say it's both. You know, I say this is embarrassing, but most people probably couldn't do this with their own counties. So it's all right. Next, we got 88. Ravenna has so many of these coming out. 88. Oh, sorry about that. Stupid chud dog. This is 88. Then, coming off of that at Freedom Center or whatever, we got 700. That's a good one. Like I said, my maternal family, like they lived in Atwater, before that, Upshur County, West Virginia. Well, my paternal family, they lived on Route 700, like right here. And now one of my uncles lives there too. And then the other one is 82. 82 goes this way. This is getting a little bit messy. One time, let me see if I can find it. Let's look. I drew a... Sorry, all my chuddy stuff is here. A lot of Hungarian uncles. Okay. Yeah. This is like maybe a nicer looking... Perhaps a nicer looking map. Is it even? It's not even really that nice looking. Why did I make this? Portage County. Yeah. But oh, it's 480, not 305. Well, look at this. We're learning stuff. This is kind of cheating, but it's from my own. Oh, I hate iPads so much. We're cheating, but we're also learning. I kind of thought it might be 480, but I thought 480 was like a county highway. Okay, cheating, but it's from my own brain initially. I'm cheating for myself. 480, nice. And yeah, 14 does go all the way down. I don't know why I was stupid and thought otherwise. Thank you, map, for helping me out. 14. And it's definitely 14 over here. I know that. Okay. There's one that goes this way. Is there not? There should be. Let me think. In Garrettsville, which highways are there? Yeah, Garrettsville is the intersection. Well, okay, this 82 actually goes down, but I just want to draw them perfectly in the center because it's like, look at how beautiful. Have you ever seen more beautiful? Anything more beautiful? I don't think so. Okay, this is what we're going to have for the roads right now. Really the most important ones are the fact that we have 2 interstates going through like right next to each other to demonstrate the fact that Lake Erie is like a choke point for them. Because interstates, they should be the big interstates and then these small ones in between. But 76 is a pretty big one. 76 is Akron to Youngstown. 80 gets you to Cleveland. 80 gets you to Chicago. 90 goes to Cleveland. 90 goes to Chicago. 76 and 80 take you all the way across Pennsylvania. That's 76. Go on that for a while. Then you turn on to Is it 71 south or 77 south? I'm sorry that I don't know anything. That takes you to Pittsburgh. And the view on whichever one that is, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. At nighttime, it is fantastic. What time are we at? Let's see. 35. This is kind of like I'm doing a school presentation. I got to keep it under time, but I'm so bad at that. Okay, so we've just finished doing a basic map, and I haven't even talked about these places much yet. So let's do a kind of speed run round, and let me get another color in case I need to draw anything. Let's just go like top, this way, this, normal reading way. Okay, Aurora. Here's why Aurora sucks. Um, it is by far the most wealthy place in Portage County. Okay, Portage County overall has a poverty rate, and these are rough. These are not exact. These are not exact. Portage County has a poverty rate of about 10%. Aurora has a poverty rate of about 2%. And where I live in Ravenna, it's 20%. And this is roughly the national average. So Aurora, 5 times better than the national average, while Ravenna is 2 times worse. And I actually don't know the exact numbers for poverty rates on any other township or town because I'm stupid. I guess I didn't do this enough, but I guarantee almost all of these are closer to 20 than they are to 2. And Aurora has so many people in it. They have like, well, I guess to some people it's not so many, but they have like close to 30,000 people in it, and that brings our our overall poverty level so much lower, and so we don't get like the type of state funding that we need. Because what happened was over here. I'm sorry. When I was recording yesterday, I also forgot what. Um, for some reason, I forgot what Summit County looks like. I imagine it kind of looks like Illinois, but that's not right. But whatever. This is Summit County, right? This is good old Akron. Like people like doctors and engineers and stuff live in Akron, but they don't want to live there. They live over here. So the rich people move there. And guess what? My political science professor, he's from California. He's from like Silicon Valley. Works here, lives in Aurora. Look at that. All the wealthy people. I assume he's not like that wealthy, but being a professor is like that's a pretty good job. And so these people they moved to Aurora. Why would they want to live there? I don't know. Their library is literally worse than ours. They do have a nice. I like those nice white Protestant churches that have one of those in Aurora. Um, but it sucks. And that's all I'm going to say about that. If you live in Aurora, I do not like you. In general, that's just a true fact. And right next to Aurora, right here in Summit County, Hudson. Hudson is Aurora, but even worse. Oh my God. People, class conscious, upper middle class people from Hudson will lie and say they're from other places because it's so embarrassing to be from Hudson. It just, I'm sorry, but it is. If you are from Hudson, born and raised in Hudson, I don't think I like you. That's all I have to say. Well, I have a lot more to say, but I'll try and be nice. Um, my political science professor who lives there, he has like 2 rules in his class. One of them, don't be a Nazi. All right. One of them, you can't use exclamation. You can't exclaim. And he said that when I said I hate people from Aurora, I was exclaiming. Okay, well, so I'll refrain. Because now that political science is one of my majors, I'm gonna have to see this guy all the time, so I'm gonna have to live by his rules. He's like a libertarian, though, I think, and I'm not gonna live by those rules. Anyways, Manaway. I don't have much to say about Manaway. It has one of the villages, one of the 4 villages. It's pretty nice to me. I've heard people call it Mantucky. Apparently this is not a thing everywhere. Not well, I guess not every state borders Kentucky, but here it's kind of like an insult to call something blank Tucky, which that's like kind of elitist and mean, but you know, that's just how it is. I don't have a lot to say about you, Manaway. I like your name. I like that, chuds get confused. Say Mantua. Anyways, Hiram. All right, this is where I go to college now. I spend most of my time there at my dorm. Right now, I'm at home in good old Ravenna. Draw a heart over that. But oh, sometimes when I draw a map of Ohio, I'll just put a big heart here. Isn't that wholesome? Because Ohio, it's already, look at this, shaped like a heart, and the slogan, "Heart of it all." Isn't that amazing? And now we're, if you look at a map of America, I wish I had that map back up that I drew. Yeah, I mean, it's very clear that we're to the eastern side, but for a while we were like in the middle, Midwest, right? In my last video, I talked about how this is not the Midwest, so I don't actually identify with the Midwest, but a large part of Ohio is the Midwest. So, all right, Hiram. People don't even know about Hiram. There aren't that many places in Portage County, but people don't even know that there's a college there, which makes sense. The college has a student body of about 1,000, whereas Kent State overall has a student body of about 40,000. But they have other campuses. They have like the Twinsburg campus, Geauga campus, Salem campus. Am I forgetting any campuses? And the Kent campus. The Kent campus has over 20,000. So this college campus, why am I drawing a heart over that? Has over 20 times the amount at my college, so it makes sense. So what do I have to say about Hiram? Uh, so, okay. I always have a fear that I'm going to get this guy's name wrong. His name is Joseph Smith, right? And this is kind of my same thing about, I just fear I will get stuff wrong all the time and look stupid. But his name is Joseph Smith, I'm fairly certain. The Mormon guy. He actually set up camp here in Hiram Township. But the Hiramites, the Hiramanians, that's what I call them, the Hiramanians were like, GTFO, they tarred and feathered him. He fled to Utah. And there are still like Mormon youth groups from Utah who come to my college because of that. And there was like some funny story of like some girl, like a Mormon girl, like a big branch fell in her head or something. She had to get surgery. But everyone was like, they were just smiling and happy because it was something like God will take care of her. I don't know, it's kind of funny. So that's interesting. That's a fun fact about that. And of course, the stuff about James A. Garfield. Okay. Garrettsville. Look, I don't know many superlative facts about Garrettsville. Like I said, Nelson Township, this is Amish country. One time it was almost a spiritual experience. I call a lot of things spiritual experience. I was at Nelson Ledges with my family, but when I was younger, but kind of like distance from them. And there's like, it's kind of like a hollow. I wouldn't call this one a holler, but it's kind of like a hollow because on one side of the road, here you are driving on the road. On one side, it's like pretty flat, but there's trees. On the other side, it's just like cliffs, and they're not that tall. But they're, for Ohio, like they're straight up cliffs. We have, I don't know if this is something that occurs everywhere. Well, because it was formed by the glacier. The glacier went like down to here. When the glacier receded, oh, yik yak notification. When the glacier receded, it had all these boulders in it, and it just like dropped them off in a bunch of areas. So we got like ledges here, ledges here, ledges here. We got all sorts of ledges biomes. And the ledges are like rocky cliffs. And so this, we got a ledge there. And that's why it's called Nelson Ledges. And there's like a road off this way, I think, that leads to like Amish farms. And there was like a horse and buggy coming down the road. And because of, the ledge, I don't really know how acoustics work, but the sound of the horse and buggy was so magnified, I was like terrified, like, what incarnation is coming towards me right now? It was just a horse, clip clopping, as horses do. Something about Nelson Ledges, the gathering of the Juggalos was held there multiple times. That's kind of crazy. And there's this big, like, deep thing called like the Devil's Icebox, and I guess like idiots will smoke weed there, and then they fall in and die because it's like I don't know, like an 80-foot drop down to the bottom. So that's pretty interesting. In Garrettsville, I knew some fact about it that I've forgotten. Oh, this area in general has like some of the best maple syrup in Ohio. So that's pretty cool. And I think Garrettsville has something to do with that. Oh, the school districts. Let me talk about that really quick for the things I haven't done yet. Okay, Aurora has their own school district. Screw them. Then, okay, let me get this right. Crestwood is these ones? And then Garrettsville School District, which is called Garfield, James A. Garfield, their mascot is the G-Men, is Freedom and Nelson. So it's kind of okay. My dad is from Freedom, but he went to school at Garfield. Okay, let's go to Streetsboro. Streetsboro, I said, is the second worst place in Portage County. It's not as douchebaggy as Aurora. However, it actually is a suburb of Akron. It actually, maybe, it's kind of just like a disgusting sprawl place. So when you're driving along this road, you don't even see any houses. When you're coming up, you see their high school about right there. But all you see is like disgusting chain businesses. Ugh, it sickens me to drive through there. And it's the only place in Portage County that I drive through regularly that has traffic. What a disgusting place. Ugh. Oh, well, about like right here in Streetsboro Township, it's not the township, but it feels like the township. Why can't they just be normal and just have their municipality and their township? In Streetsboro, they have like this kind of nice place called Trail Lake. It's not a state park. It's another county park like Towner's Woods. In Trail Lake, it's interesting because you kind of go on like this journey of, you go around a lake and you go on this journey of different biomes. And the first time that I appreciated the Beach Boys album Holland was when I was walking at Trail Lake. I was listening to it. Me and my brother listened to it. And I had heard it before, but I didn't appreciate it before. So Streetsboro is just evil. It doesn't have a main street. It is not a real place. Ugh. Just, Streetsboro sucks. Okay, Shalersville. Nothing much happens here. There's not really much for me to say. It's the fact of the matter is that a lot of places in Portage County are basically just large areas with farms and woods. That's what Shalersville is. Freedom Township, basically the same way. The only relevance that Freedom Township has is that my dad was born there. It's just fields and woods. Wyndham. Wyndham, I barely know anything about because, like I said, I haven't been there. But here's one fact I have about Wyndham, the village of Wyndham. In the 1950 census, out of all surveyed places in the entire United States, Wyndham, Ohio, Portage County, had the highest growth rate in population of any place. That's amazing. We've got a national superlative here in Portage County, and it's Wyndham's growth rate from 1940 to 1950. The reason why? Well, they build here the arsenal, and a lot of I think it was migrant workers came. A lot of migrant workers came to Wyndham to have jobs there, and other non-migrant, just people in general came to work there. So yeah, good job, Wyndham. I guess that's all I have to say about that. Okay, Kent. I have mixed feelings on Kent. We're getting close to an hour. Hopefully, I can keep it under an hour, but realistically, I won't. I have mixed feelings on Kent. Because they are a real town, unlike Streetsboro. But because of the fact that they have Kent State University, by the way, I hope you all know about the Kent State University shooting. That's the That's the most prominent event to happen in Portage County ever, I think. Um, that's like almost international news. I think that might be internationally relevant, almost. Maybe not quite, but almost. Because they have the university, it kind of functions differently than a normal town. Ravenna is a normal town. Right? Maybe I'm biased in saying that, but we're normal. Kent's population actually has grown since the 1950 census. Everywhere else, pretty much, this is how the population looks. It peaks in 1950 or 1960, then it goes down. Kent has grown, uh, and the economy is a bit better, and the Kentites think they're better than us. That's the issue. They think they're better than Ravennans or Ravens. Are they? I don't know. Look, Ravenna kind of sucks. I'll talk about Ravenna next, but I get bothered when people will think that they're better than other people, and it's generally they just think they're better because they live in the more affluent place. Like Pennsylvanians, right? Okay, if you are from like, okay, that kind of is ugly. If you're from like Western Pennsylvania, those Pennsylvanians still act like they're better than Ohioans. Come on, Western Pennsylvania. I love this area, but you guys are not better than us. You're not better than us Eastern Ohioans. We're all in it together. So that's kind of an issue I have with Pennsylvania. That's why sometimes I'll say Ohio is better than Pennsylvania because we don't have a superiority complex. We actually have an inferiority complex that we need to work on. If the last video recorded, well, my first video already kind of talked about how amazing of a state this is. All right. So Kent, I have mixed feelings on you. Brady Lake, you are actually the trashiest part. But oh my goodness, Towner's Woods. I don't even know how to put into words what Towner's Woods means to me. I've been to the Alps. I've been to the Black Hills. I've been to the Adirondacks. I've been to Seneca Rocks. I've been to these places. None of them have the sort of religious relevance and appeal as this random forest in Portage County. Towner's Woods. The moral of this, if you take nothing else away from this video, take away the fact that Towner's Woods it's a national treasure. We're just going to leave this here for a reminder. Towner's Woods. Towner's Woods also has a pretty cool Indian mound, and you can overlook Lake Pippin, and then right next to Lake Pippin is Lake Rockwell. And those two lakes is where Akron gets a lot of their water. Okay, what time are we at? Not an hour yet, but I'm only about halfway through. Curious. Ravenna. Here's what I'm gonna do. I will leave out Ravenna in this video, and maybe tomorrow I will make a video about Ravenna. Because I have a lot to say about just Ravenna. Charleston, it's a lot of place with it's just like forest, pretty much. Paris, same way. I mean, the only reason I ever come here is if I'm going to Youngstown and I'm going the non-interstate route. Because Youngstown is over this way, right? Because Trumbull is like this, and then Mahoning County is kind of like that. Or maybe it's like this. And then this is like Columbiana County, and then this is like Jefferson County. And Youngstown is like right here. So Route 5 will get you to Youngstown that way, but normally I take 76 because it's faster. I like to go, not because I like the drive to be shorter amount of time. I like my car to be moving faster. I think either way you go over a place called Meander Reservoir, which is just a beautiful place. It looks almost Pacific Northwestern because it's all pine trees along the edge of it. It's beautiful. Okay. Brimfield, you suck. It's either farms or like gross, fake kind of suburbia. You suck. You suck. You suck. And you kind of suck. Rootstown, honestly, the same way, but yeah, Rootstown's kind of the same as Brimfield. Sucks. Edinburgh. I don't have much opinions on this, which is rare for me. It sucks a little bit. It's all of these ones are kind of homogenous, I'll be honest. Uh, because basically, I mean, right, so I'll do it on this. Again, I forgot what Summit County looks like, but it's something like that. Akron is here. And the Akron sphere, it reaches like this, but then when you're outside of it, when you're in this part, it's really just rural farms and woods, like I already said. Um, and okay, maybe more accurate. So the sphere of civilization, not to say that these places are not civilization, because in a lot of places they would be like, man, this is densely populated. But for Northeast Ohio standards, it's like this is the populated area, and then this is all just farms, pretty much. Palmyra. I literally don't know anything about Palmyra. Is anyone from there? I won't say it's bad. It's just, what is it? Suffield, I hate it less than Brimfield. It's kind of the same place. They have their uniquely named school district here called Field. Oh, and by the way, up here, right, we got James A. Garfield School District. Here, we got Roosevelt. I don't know what the relevance of Theodore Roosevelt is there, but their mascot is like the Rough Rider. Okay, Randolph, it is the site of the illustrious Portage County Fair. The fair sucks. Last year when I was there, I was just minding my own business, and some like random, I don't know, 15-year-old yelled at me from like, he was like he was like, wow, look at that linebacker or whatever, like making fun of me for being like soy. Okay, just leave me alone, kid. Like that's the type of environment it is. A lot of Trump stuff. Um, as if you're a minority person, don't go there. You will not feel safe. Not saying that you will be killed, but you will not feel safe. Um, that's what I would assume at least. However, the county fair is an important thing in Portage County. More important than it is in like the more metro counties. By the way, Portage County, quote unquote, in the Akron metropolitan area. Really, all I would say is that I would say this is the only area that is Akron metropolitan area, because these areas are completely connected to the Akron like built up area. Even Ravenna, this distance between Kent and Ravenna, there's a bit of area where it's like this is not built up. And so only these three are fully Akron Metro, in my opinion. And that is like honestly, this is, oh, I didn't know you could do that. This is like honestly at least a third of the population and just that. So I guess it's fine. I don't know. I don't like being in a metropolitan county. I think that's embarrassing. So Randolph, I don't know what to say about you. There's a very beautiful farm right here. In Portage County, this might be different and more in other areas, but in Portage County, one of the best things is like, oh, to me at least, is like, oh, that farm there is really nice. This farm has like some hills. It's just, wait. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Oh, Suffield. I have to say something about Suffield. We have a state park down here. It's called like Wingfoot. It might be like this. Um, what is notable about that? So apparently in other places, not in the Akron sphere, people don't see blimps like these. I've talked to some people on Discord and they're like, I've never seen a blimp. I see multiple Goodyear blimps a year. The Goodyear blimp is on the, what is it? The Stars and Stripes Volume 2 cover. of the Beach Boys. So I guess like that's it's a part of Americana, but um, so the Goodyear blimp fleet, if you can call it that, has deteriorated. Okay, a real blimp. So there's like hard body blimps, semi hard body blimps, and then like soft body blimps. A real blimp is the soft body blimp. There is, if I'm not mistaken, there's exactly one of those left that's operational in the country. I want to say the world, but I don't want to exaggerate. And it is held at the hangar here at Wingfoot Lake State Park. And this is like a Goodyear. Like, did Goodyear fund it? I don't know. That is a good superlative. Good job, Suffield. The fleet consists of that, and then there's two like semi hard body blimps that still fly around. So you see them here. Atwater, I kind of went over Atwater. I don't have an issue with it. It just is nothing. Oh, this gets a little bit of an X. Deerfield, um, they have a skating rink there that I've been to. They have a military surplus store. They have an antique mall. I think they have a Dollar General, but it's really nothing. So I think that concludes my Portage County thing right now. Oh, Aurora at one point apparently made like the most cheese, either per capita or like by volume in the country in like 1902 or something. Okay, I think that concludes this Portage County video. Hopefully this recorded well, and if it didn't, I deleted so much stuff, so I should have space. If it didn't record well, I'm not gonna be happy. But yeah, that was the video. I don't know if anyone will watch this, but if you did, now you know more about Portage County.